It's the world's best shows from Las Vegas, and we're here once again with an old friend at Phantom of the Opera. Brent Barrett, how are you?
Hey, Alex, I'm very good. And you're at the world's best show.
Well, indeed, and we're talking to one of the world's best performers, and I know I become almost sycophantic every time I talk to you, but you're still here, you're still doing the business. Aren't you insane being the Phantom after, 2 years?
Well, if I had been doing it for 8 performances a week for 2 years, I probably would be ready to slip my wrists. But the great thing is, I've been sharing the role, and I've only had to do 4 performances in every 3 days. So with that kind of a schedule, it leaves you open to do a lot of other things. And it's actually been the best time of my life.
I mean, Vegas is a lot of fun, but can become a little bit intense, can't it, after a while?
Well, if you stay on the Strip, it's overwhelming. But I live about 20 minutes west of the Strip, and so it's like suburbia anywhere. I was in New York last weekend doing some concerts, and I take time off and go do things here and there, and that breaks it up a lot.
Now, you're one of those rare things where you're a musical performer who has a personality. What next, a drag show or something?
I don't know. I do have the legs for it. Actually, the Chippendales have been begging me to come over and strip for them, but I don't think I'll be doing that. I've reached a certain age that it's not what I'm going to be doing, but I don't know. I heard they're doing Priscilla, Queen of the Desert down in Australia. I'd love to get a crack at that.
Or maybe Hairspray or something.
I'm not fat enough.
I don't know. It's not to Michael Ball any harm. He's managed to put the pounds on for the role.
Oh, Alex. Yeah, a foot in the mouth, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But, I'm good at that. Let's talk about your voice and filling a theatre like this. Do you have to change your voice to be Phantom? Because it's got to be menacing, hasn't it? Whereas Chicago was more uplifting.
Well, it's interesting. You do so much with the microphone here. This was, I think, one of the first shows where they really were using the manipulation and the sound effects to help augment the voice. So it's interesting. I found that over the course of the 2 years, I really started out singing like I normally sing, and then as we progressed, I've started singing less and letting the microphone do more of the work, simply because it's almost the way the show's written.
And it is interesting as well, having seen Danny Gans here, that you can put 65 million into a show, you can have 120 technicians, or you can have one man with a pin focus light who can wow you just as much.
Oh, some of my favorite moments here in Las Vegas have been performers who have been downstage center with their bands behind them, like Johnny Mathis and Tony Bennett, Barry Manilow, just the performers that, from the old school who are still doing it, and you go, wow, that is it. That's what it's about. It's not it's not about all the technical aspects. It's about the raw talent that's up on the stage.
I was sat on the 4th row during the Barry Manilow show, and I got poked in the eye 3 times with his nose. It was remarkable.
Oh, I tell you, if Michael Ball doesn't put out a hit on you, Barry Manilow will.
Talking of the spectacular, I mean, this is bigger than any other Phantom show anywhere around the world. It takes pyrotechnics to a new level. It takes scenery to a new level. You kind of have to do that with a Vegas show. People have very high expectations when they come into a show here, don't they?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons there are productions that have come into Las Vegas who have taken, used the touring sets and things, and it doesn't mean that the shows aren't good, but there is a level of expectation here that you can't just do a normal show that you can tour around the country with.
I've got a couple of your CDs, and I'd like to tell you that they're on my iPod. They're not. I've still got Britney Spears' greatest hits. I'm sorry about that, if that wounds your heart.
I love Britney. That's okay. I don't take it personally.
What disappoints me about you being in a show like this is nobody will know your name when you leave. They won't even care. Doesn't that kind of wound you in the heart that you're just the Phantom?
And I'm only one of 2. That's even worse.
Half a Phantom.
I'm happy. Yeah. Well, last week, that's why, I'm going to be finishing up here 2 years in the desert with a mask on. I think that's enough.
Absolutely. And we've all got an ego to support, haven't we?
Well, we do, but I also have puppies, so they've got to, I've got to furnish dog food, so there are certain responsibilities I have.
I hear your puppies are the talk of the internet.
They are the cutest little things in the world. Yes, they're 2 little Shih Tzus, Boris and Bianca. Yeah, they're about 18 months now.
I don't know where this is going, but it made me laugh. Is there an ideal show that you'd love to be in now? Is there something you've got your eye on that if you could do, you would grab it with both hands?
I'm waiting to find it. Something new. I'd love to come back to London and do Chicago for 6 or 3 months. That would be a blast.
You got to be David Hasselhoff to do that.
Well, I think, yeah. Has he done it? He has done it over there, hasn't he?
Yeah, quite a lot. I think last time he ended up being taken away in an ambulance, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, poor David. He was very nice. I met him when he was here doing Producers, playing Roger Debris.
I thought that was a car crash, and I thought that if Mel Brooks had bothered to come and see it, he would have had it closed in an instant. It's, in my opinion, one of the greatest shows ever made, and they just destroyed it. I couldn't follow what was happening. It was so rushed. That is a kind of problem with Vegas, that you have to get them in, and you have to get them back in the casino to spend money.
That's the whole idea. You don't feel that way with this show, do you?
No, actually, it's not lost much, because for me it was too long in the beginning anyway, and I love it, but it was way too, and it still is too long on Broadway and in the West End. It's about an hour and a half too long.
Yeah, I know. I love this production. I mean, people say, would you want to go do it on Broadway? I said, what, do the full 2.5 hour show?
The last Phantom I spoke to on Broadway had an obsession with a goldfish. It depends what type of performer you are, I think, when you do this role. You can either take it incredibly seriously and become insane, or like you, not care, turn up and do it and leave. Thank God you're you.
Well, when you're there, you go through the journey, but I think, how long had he done it?
I think about 1.5 years, but nevertheless, falling in love with a goldfish. I mean, you've got your puppies. But
I think maybe that's it. Maybe I have my puppies to go home to, and that's probably what's keeping me sane.
Let's talk about Vegas and on the Strip for the visitors who come. This is a brilliant show, and I do recommend it. That's why we're back here today. It is 90 minutes of absolute splendor and decadence, which is Vegas, really. Let's do some top tens. If you had a top show to go and see, what would it be other than this?
Okay, let's see. It's fantastic. I mean, talking about the Cirque shows, their lack of story aside, for spectacle, that is tops here. There's still a lot of shows that I haven't gone to see, a lot of comics in town and magicians that I still that I have to get to before I go. As I said, if they're in town and Johnny Mathis is in town, if they like that at all, go. They're going to have a great evening. Or Tony Bennett. Barry's show is fantastic when he's here.
As long as you avoid his nose.
Oh, yeah. Just sit further back, that's all. Barry's a friend of mine. You better be careful. Let's see, what else? There's just, you're not lacking for entertainment in this town. And even some of the local bars. The lounges in town, Diane Diaz, which performs down at Mandalay Bay. She and her band, she's fantastic. Some performers that you don't even that you're not even aware of that are here. And she said Danny Gans is fantastic.
It is interesting. Two things that have struck me about Vegas over the last few years in making this program is one, you can be the biggest star in the world within this 1 mile strip, and nobody else has ever heard of you.
No one has any idea. I know Danny's an example of that. He started out. He was a professional baseball player, injured himself, and started doing corporate gigs. Then got the job over at what's across the street. Where's he at? The
Mirage.
The Mirage. Thank you.
How long have you been here?
A year and a half. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Alex. You just do more research than I do. And so the Mirage, and I think he went to New York, and nothing happened. But it is. It's. There's also a lot of corporate work out here that you can sustain yourself in doing that. There's also a great fun act out at Red Rock Casino called Zoe Boy. They're from Arizona, and they've been here for a couple of years now. And I say that, Phantom is the most romantic show on the Strip. And so if that's...
I thought Crazy Girls was the most romantic.
Well, I guess, yes, as we say, it's all a matter of taste, isn't it, Alex?
Absolutely. Congratulations on being you. I'm sure we'll catch up again. I mean, it could be anywhere, really. The Far East, Dubai, I don't know, the Philippines. Who knows? Yeah. At some point, we have to meet the puppies.
Well, okay, I can show you a picture.
You haven't got a picture with you of your puppies.
What's on my iPod? Yeah, absolutely.
You're worrying me now. Congratulations on being in this show and being able to do it every night. I think it's remarkable discipline at the very least to be able to turn up and be bothered to sing these big numbers, because there aren't many of them, but the ones you have to sing are incredible, aren't they? They
are, and that's really been a joy for the last year and a half, and I'll miss that. But, with the symphony concerts I'm doing, now that I'm not in this, they say, oh, now can you sing Phantom of the Opera? Because contractually I can sing it anywhere now.
And has the Lord been to see you?
Has the who?
The Lord.
Oh, well, he was here our opening weekend.
And what did he make of you?
Oh, he thought I was fantastic.
Of course.
Of course.
And you thought vice versa, he was wonderful.
Absolutely. I'd met him a couple of times over the years, and at a party in London when I was doing Kiss Me Kate.
He's an interesting character, isn't he? Not great on interview.
I think it depends. If he's talking about something that he's passionate about, he will go on and on. But if you're both sitting there going, what the hell am I going to say? Yeah, it can be a very dull evening.
So you're implying I'm a bad interviewer?
Not at all.
Brent Barrett, thank you for insulting me. It's the perfect way to leave this. Phantom the Spectacular, isn't it?
Phantom the Las Vegas Spectacular.
It's not just Phantom, it has to have the spectacular in.
I think they got rid of opera because they didn't want to scare people away.
We wouldn't like to be classy in Vegas.
You've been through the airport, right?
Exactly. Congratulations again on the show. Thanks for talking to me, and we'll see you at some point with your puppies in the future.
Thanks again. It's great to see you.